What is science without compassion? What price do we pay when we turn away from practices that could improve the lives of people and animals? For too long, it's been easier to let things stay as they are, but traditional approaches have exacted a huge toll, yielding too few answers and sacrificing countless lives.
As physicians and scientists, we know there are better methods.
To help us unlock the mysteries of human disease and find the keys to better health.
To end needless suffering.
To save millions of lives.
And practice good medicine with ethics and compassion.
And compassion.
And compassion.
And compassion.
And compassion.
PCRM, may I help you?
Use quick pause. Hey, John.
So how are things?
Good. Cross your fingers. We may actually have a Senate champion.
When we started out, the idea was that we would be maybe 15 or 20 doctors who would issue white papers on the issues of the day, and I'm happy to say that we've grown quite a ways beyond that.
Oh, that would be good. Your gas exposure histories, and it's clear to me that
we now have hundreds of thousands of supporters, not just here, but worldwide, and I think we've had a tremendous impact.
I first knew I wanted to come work for PCRM when I met Dr. Bernard during my residency. They were interested in getting rid of the dog labs. Dr. Bernard spoke in a facilitated discussion, and within a year, the dog lab was gone.
Quite broadly speaking, we've pretty much eliminated the use of animals in medical education.
Come on, let's go. Okay.
Dr. Bernard likes to introduce me as a person who came from the dark side.
When I was in graduate school, I actually taught dog lab.
I know. You want to say, here I am.
It's amazing to me that always being a dog lover and always having dogs, that I was able to compartmentalize. And I think once the barriers in my own thinking started to open up, that I could see that a lot of change could be happening a lot faster.
Compassionate medicine has to do with actively seeking out ways of avoiding torturing life forms, whether they're humans or other animals.
So we're suing McDonald's, Burger King, and Friendly's, and the idea is there are times where we need to educate people about what unethical research means or what bad nutrition is, but there are other times where you just have to make something illegal.
Currently, pigs, goats, and monkeys are used in chemical and combat trauma training for our troops.
It's very important that you become involved to receive the full training effect of this exercise. This is a once-in-a-lifetime.
As a result of PCRM's work, we were able to get a bill introduced that would ban the use of animals for military medical training. Animals do not need to be used and can be replaced with simulation technology. Our fight against the Department of Defense resembles our efforts elsewhere to fight the inertia.
One of the biggest obstacles to reforming and improving the way we practice medicine is that so much money, so much industry is benefiting from doing things the old way.
Most of the toxicology tests that are done in animals have evolved primarily since the Second World War. They were never proven to be valid to predict human health effects, and people still default to animal testing as the gold standard. And it's particularly cruel type of testing.
When we decided to produce an insulin assay that didn't use live animals and didn't use animal serum, people said it wasn't possible. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't quick, but we were able to produce an assay that not only set the animals aside, but it was actually scientifically better than the previous one. It's now the industry standard. Every animal test can be replaced in the same kind of way. And that same kind of win-win can apply for getting animals off your plate. It frees us to think about our own health in a whole different way. Imagine being free of heart disease, having the next generation free of diabetes, free of cancer. That's the kind of world that we can work toward.
My mom was overweight, and I was kind of getting worried because I knew that there were a lot of problems.
So I went into the doctor. She explained to me that I had diabetes. And here I thought I was eating, like everybody else, I thought I was eating the right things.
And I had been a vegetarian since my freshman year, and since that time I was really interested in it, and I've always been really interested in nutrition. One particular book I read talked about, should we really be eating Lucky Charms, or should we be eating like oatmeal and such?
And so I brought in Dr. Bernard's book, and I went on the program. When I went back to see the doctor, and he was floored. He said, "You're the poster child for diabetes because this is what needs to be done." I had already lost like 80 pounds. He just looked at me and said, "What did you do and how did you do it?" He said, "Because I've never, in all the years that I've been a doctor, seen anybody do this."
Aggressive plant-based nutrition is actually the ideal intervention to reverse these serious conditions.
So if you take
More people are thinking about health than ever before.
should be easy.
But the industries that profit over cruelty and over poor health are entrenched. Children today are in the worst shape of any generation we have ever had.
One of the most important things that PCRM is doing right now is campaigning for better foods in our public schools.
I have late-stage colon cancer.
Cancer risk starts early. Even small amounts of processed meats can lead to adult cancers.
Cellulose gel, cellulose gum, mono and diglycerides.
No, this is disgusting.
What we feed children in our public schools is important because it may be the only halfway decent meal a kid gets during a day or a week.
There is an urgency for PCRM to have an influence on what the next school lunch program looks like, what this pyramid of food that we generally accept in America, what that ought to look like as opposed to what it looks like today.
We have events such as these which are going on all the time to inform the legislators and their staff about all of the key issues that our supporter base is really trying to promote.
I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah! Love it! You guys are awesome. Okay, so we have some veggie burgers here. Anybody want to taste some veggie burgers?
PCRM decided it might be a bigger impact if I came and spoke directly to Congress, making sure that we involve more vegetarian, vegan options for children.
Of course, you don't have any bad habits yet. So our job here is not to let you have bad habits.
We want healthy school lunches!
One of the key things we do on Capitol Hill is to educate members of Congress. And they really need to hear from doctors who have information based in solid science about prevention, about nutrition, about research. Dietary habits are changing not just here in the U.S., but they're being exported worldwide, and so is disease. And so that's why we need to be working not just here in the U.S., but throughout the globe.
The work that PCRM is doing in the United States and elsewhere, it sets humans free from their bad habits, from the old ways of thinking, and from bad science. The United States is the only country that still allows large-scale invasive testing on chimpanzees. The Grade 8 Protection Act would end all invasive research on chimpanzees. It opens the door for us to improve the lives of all other animals being used in research.
I'm proud for what we've accomplished so far, but the challenges that lie in front of us are bigger than anything that we've tackled up until now.
We need to look at the core root of what preventive medicine is and needs to be.
We're treating the side effects of the bad foods that people are eating.
PCRM nudges us. It says, why can't we do things differently?
PCRM stands for ethical treatment of animals and basically good, sound scientific research.
PCRM is great because it keeps me informed about issues that are important to me, and I pass that on to anyone who will listen.
And it takes all of us working together. We all have to pull together to make this world a better place for people and for animals.